As I'm outside here on my balcony, I was just pondering, and I just thought to myself, I came to realize a couple things since I've started dropshipping, since I've made over multiple millions in revenue over the past couple of years. I've come to realize over a couple things. I'm gonna go inside, it's a bit cold. Dead flowers, by the way. Put them outside. Thought maybe they could get some sun and get themselves together, but it's not really working. So I realized a couple things, and these are going to be what I'm going to be talking about in this video. And what it's going to be is not going to be the most beginner stuff. I'll start off with the easiest stuff, that I've realized that could apply to every single person. Doesn't matter if you've done millions, doesn't matter if you've not even started yet, right? But let me just put my phone down here as it's easier for me. But the realizations that I've had have a lot to do. Let me actually close the blinds too, because you can barely see me. But a lot of the realizations that I've had have had to do with not per se on how dropshipping works, but more on how you can make it work better. So a lot of people say dropshipping is dead. You hear it all the time. It's not. That's the first thing. Just get that out of the way. It's not dead. I know it's not dead. Otherwise, I couldn't have made millions. Otherwise, people couldn't have made millions. Otherwise, people still wouldn't make millions. So that's for the beginners. Dropshipping isn't dead. It still works. You can still make money, blah, blah, blah. That's the first thing. And the second thing, which I still kind of underestimate, which I think to myself, like, okay, I don't really underestimate it anymore, but I still kind of underestimate it to a degree purely because, it's something that is not so talked about. So everyone talks about, drop shipping, finding the winning products, or making the ads and making this. I'll get into those in a second, but the most important thing for me, what I've realized inside of the whole game of dropshipping, doing millions, especially if you go to multiple millions, that especially, is that when you're gonna go to such high levels, when you're gonna make that much of a revenue, the most important thing is not gonna be really your product, your ads, or I don't know, your scaling method or this method. It's not even gonna be that. That is the easy part, in my opinion. That feels really easy. Finding a product, making ads for it, making creatives, making videos for it, running the creatives up, and just running the ads up, scaling it, etc. That feels easy to me, at least to me. I can start a brand new store, get it to 100K within a couple weeks, very easily. But to go from that 100K to 200, 300, 400, 500K, and just continuing upwards from there to the millions, that is where the hard work comes. And with that, I don't mean that you're gonna, work really hard at that, but the more not as simple work, I would say, yeah, maybe a bit more complicated work comes. And the reason being is because I'm actually take you guys. I'm actually go outside again. I just need some fresh air. But the reason being is because backend comes really into play. And backend is something no one really talks about. Now, what is exactly backend if you don't know it yet? Backend is basically your supply chain, your customer support, your payment method, or your payment providers, etc. And what I've had all the time since I started, even till this day, every single person also has, especially if you're doing big numbers, you'll know, you will always face issues with your advertising platforms, Facebook, TikTok, Google. You will always face issues, right? Same thing with your supply chain. You will always have some bullshit happen that, your supplier cannot handle the amount of orders that you have, or they can handle maybe the amount of orders that you have. They just, make mistakes here and there, and it just fucks you up, and then your payment provider will fuck you up. Now, this is the biggest one because your payment provider is literally what makes you the money. With no payment provider, you can't even get payment. So backend is genuinely the most important thing that you need to focus on and actually put it straight if you want to scale to the million mark, or if you want to go, to even 300, 400K a month. You genuinely need to have good backend. Otherwise, you're not going to get there. Or if you're doing, let's say, PayPal or Klarna, if you're especially for the European guys watching this, a lot of the time, those are going to mess you up. Those are going to kill you. PayPal holding your money. I've had at a certain point almost like 80 to 100K stuck in PayPal just waiting for it to be released. So the back end of things is way more important for the higher levels, especially when you do bigger numbers, than anything like the front end could be. Advertising, but that's the easy stuff. You just play with some numbers, put the budget up higher, that's it. It's as easy as that, almost. That is how it feels. And what I also realized is all these people you see a lot of the times on YouTube, sure, a winning product does exist, but it's not the most important thing that you should be focusing on. If your product is good, you can make creatives for it, and how I also noticed this is also, for example, in the coaching space, there's a lot of guys that coach people on how to do certain stuff. They, for example, fitness coaching. People do coaching of fitness, but they're not even fit. But they still get loads of clients because they have good marketing. Same thing goes for e-commerce. A lot of people do e-commerce coaching while they don't know how to coach someone, but they still get loads of clients. Why? Because their marketing is on point. The product could be shit, but the marketing is on point. And that is the same thing you can do with e-commerce. You don't need the best product to make it work. Every single product works. You can, right now, even a fucking posture corrector, you can still make that work with custom content, with better videos, taken from a different angle. And what I've noticed personally, of course, you need a good, decent, you need a great product in place that will be easy to market for. Because if your product is good, your ads are easy. If your product is good, your backend is going to be easy because people are understanding how it works. People don't need instructions. People don't need to, keep fucking emailing you all the time or don't keep having issues. That is all if your product is like really, really good. Now, you won't always have the best product. That's why this comes in for what I'm going to say right now is that creatives is the name of the game. And how I realized this is, let me just switch from my hand. I had shoulders yesterday, so my shoulders are dead. But what I've realized is creatives is literally the name of the game. So what the most important thing was in the past was, having a decent product that people wanted to buy and then just running that up with creatives. Now it's you can run anything up with good creatives because everyone's attention span is so fucked right now that your creatives need to be better than anything else they watched before. Bro, go to Instagram right now. You probably don't even remember the last 10, 20, or not even them, 10. You don't even remember the last 2 reels you saw. You probably don't. Or the last YouTube video you watched. You probably also don't even remember that. That's how fucked people's attention spans are. And think of this as a consumer perspective. Like you are probably already doing e-commerce, right? You have at least something like you want to create something. You don't just want to consume like 99% of the people. And loads of people, like basically the 99% of people are just consuming. They're just scrolling on Facebook, scrolling on Instagram, scrolling on TikTok, or just searching up things on Google. You just want to capture the attention the best. That is the way you're gonna make money with e-commerce. And I realized this very early on actually, but I've realized it without realizing it. I always knew like, okay, I need to focus on ads, I need to focus on my creators, I need to make my videos better, but I never had the idea like, this is the most important thing. I thought always to myself, the product is the most important thing, right? And to a degree, it could be, and it is, but it's basically a mixture of the product and having good creators behind it. So when you're going to do your next test, your product could be decent. You don't need to search for the that one blue ocean product that no one has ever sold. It doesn't have to be that way. Bro, I can go and fucking sell a posture corrector, run that up to millions easily. It's possible. Well, will I do it? No, because it's not the best product nonetheless. But something like that, let's say something that's a bit better, that's not as used as a posture corrector, not as fucked up, that one you can just easily run up. You just need to make great creatives for it. And that is what it basically comes down to. And especially backend. Once you're doing good creatives, once you're running it up in a good way, you're getting to the 100K, 150K a month. From there on, you need to just focus on your backend. Your refunds, dispute rates need to be lower. If you've not even got a reserve or hold on your Shopify payments when you do 100K, you will probably get it if your disputes are high or if your chargebacks are high. So the number one thing you would need to focus on, especially when you do bigger numbers, is backend. And after your backend is, let's say, set up and it's good and it's like consistent, from there on you can go into a higher scale where you're gonna be scaling your brand or scaling your store up to those 300, 400, maybe even million months. And that is basically what I've realized during my whole e-commerce period. I'm just still sitting outside here. I was just pondering. I don't know why. It was just clouds look a bit different today. Look like marshmallows. I'm not hungry, but shit, they look like marshmallows. So I was just outside, and I thought to make this video because I know there's someone there just watching this video that it will genuinely help. Now, you might not be doing 100K months. You might not even be close to that. You might not even be started, right? But there are some people that have started that, and once you're at that level, I know this video is gonna help you. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope there's a lot of value you guys are getting from me. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.